This here is all about my wife, my kids, the life that I live. Through the night, I was his. It was right what I did. My ups and downs, my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulation, my heart, my balls. Somebody stop, please. Somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The dark, the light, my heart, the fight, the wrong, the right, the dark.
Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube family? Me and Lucas, we are back for another movie review. This time is for, as you can tell above us, Fatman. This is Mel Gibson, and the synopsis reads: Santa Claus must contend with a hitman sent from a disappointed child. That is the synopsis of the movie, and we're about to dissect it. This is going to be non-spoiler, so we're not going to reveal what happens or anything like that. But what's going on, Lucas?
You could literally spoil this movie and it really wouldn't matter at all. It really wouldn't. Like, it's nothing to spoil here. Kid disappointed, hires assassin to kill Santa Claus, and let the movie let everything you think of in your head that comes along with what I just said, let all of that go off in your mind. Just about it all happens in this movie.
It's true. It's true. It is all true. And I mean, I think that for me, what caught me off guard with this film, before I even saw the film, honestly, is the fact of Mel Gibson playing a Santa Claus. And I was like, what kind of Santa Claus is he going to be? And I was like, I looked at the first trailer, I was like, oh, okay, that's what we got going on.
He did direct a movie about Jesus, so Santa Claus isn't a far stretch for Mel Gibson, and his Santa Claus is the equivalent of, I wouldn't normally say Tarantino. I'm not even going to say if Tarantino directed. If Michael Bay made a movie about Santa Claus, Mel Gibson would be his Santa Claus. If Zack Snyder made a movie about Santa Claus, Mel Gibson would be his Santa Claus. If any director who feels the need just to go over the top made a movie with Santa, Mel Gibson would be his Santa Claus. Like, that's what this feels like. It is nothing cheery about this Santa Claus. It is nothing like holiday spirity about this Santa Claus.
Oh, no.
He just a regular guy who happens to have to deliver presents. That's it. That's the way they play it. He happens to have to deliver presents, and kids are asses. That's perfect message of this movie here, dude. Like, this little kid. Let's break down everything about this movie.
Yeah. Let's break it down. So let's go straight to this. You got Mel Gibson. You got his wife, Mrs. Claus, Santa Claus. So the thing I picked apart from, Mel Gibson's performance as this character is that he went for it. Like, it wasn't like he was trying to like sugarcoat what his Santa Claus was feeling. I don't know if he had that much material to work with, but the thing that I got from his version of this Santa Claus is that he had been trying for years, to think that everything that he's doing is for the value of these kids' souls, ultimately. And as you can tell in modern day society, kids aren't necessarily the nicest of people. Kids want what they want at all times, and dare I say, sometimes are very spoiled and very specific in the way they act. And he has to live in a world where he's watched for centuries as people have grown up that he's helped and face the reality that even though he did help them at a moment, their lives didn't turn out the way that he would have hoped. And dealing with that reality has brought him to this area of bleakness and darkness. And it's weird though, because I don't know if you got this, Lucas, but it was never like he was just being over the top for no good reason. It kind of was just like he felt like everything he was doing wasn't working anymore. But it wasn't like he was going out trying to sleep with other women. It wasn't like he was going out doing this and doing that. Like he just, I don't know. It's weird. Like I still felt like the essence of Santa was there. I still felt like he had a level of compassion in his heart here or there, but at the same time, this is not this is not a cheery tale. And then even with his wife, I think that she was probably one of the shining lights of the movie for me, because she tried to continue to keep him on a certain set course, even with the circumstances and the way that they function as delivering presents, as working as Santa and Mrs. Claus has changed. She still tried to cater to her husband very well. And I think their chemistry was all right. But in terms of the way she presented the character Mrs. Claus, I liked it. I like her character personally. But what did you think about like both of the characters in this film?
He's not Santa Claus in any way, shape, form, or fashion. He's just he's just a man who happens to deliver toys to children. Again, it's not an over-the-top performance. What it was for Mel, it was a subdued brooding performance. I think that's a good word to use there. That's what it was for Mel Gibson. It was nothing over the top done here, and it wasn't supposed to be. He was supposed to play this brooding Santa type of Claus type of character. I think that's what they wanted from him in this movie. And I am almost 100% sure they gave him little to no dialogue and told him, Mel, do whatever you want to do, and we'll have people play off of what you say here. As far as Miss Baptiste, who plays Mrs. Claus in this film, I mean, her role was adequate because they didn't give her enough to do. It was always just as the supporting character. That's it. Yeah. As Mrs. Claus, he was just there to support Santa, Chris, because they never call him Santa. She was just there to support Chris and his endeavors, and as they struggle to pay the rent, to fund Christmas. It's literally something there that they could have went with, and they decided, nope, we just need to play it. Kid hires assassin to kill Santa Claus. Like it was very interesting points on what was the purpose of Santa Claus.
Yeah. Exactly.
At times in this movie, I wanted to hear more about certain deals that Santa Claus makes in this film. I wanted to hear more about that and go more into the origin of this Santa Claus and what's the purpose of this Santa Claus. But instead, we just got kid hires assassin to kill Santa Claus.
No, I completely agree with you, because there's the biggest backdrop is not only is he, I guess, I don't know, emotionally distraught with the circumstances going on with the world and his purpose, of course, but they're on money troubles. But it was kind of just like, wait, what kind of money troubles are y'all really dealing with here? And on top of that, why is it that the government,
the U.S. government only now, only the U.S. government pays Santa Claus. Santa Claus. Again, it's a very interesting setup for a plot there that we could have gotten more elements of. But again, they just pulled back when you should have went full throttle with that, because that could have made a very interesting movie.
Yeah, there was one specific part for me when Santa goes to actually deliver stuff. And I was kind of like, Santa comes back, and this is kind of a spoiler, but Santa comes back with a bullet hole in his gut.
Because it's Mel Gibson.
And I was just like, and he kind of was like, shook it off. He's like, yeah, you know, something happened in this neighborhood. I'm all right. And I was kind of just like, okay, they should really kind of do a flashback and show what happened, because I would have loved to see like Mel Gibson
or the remnants of that scene for what happens later on in the film. You could have explained why he was possibly nonchalant about that incident. A little bit, just a little bit to us. And then it was like, okay, so XYZ about Santa. Like things of that nature should have been just explained more. And maybe you could have pulled less of Walter in this film, because I didn't need half of his scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
And you could have did more explaining the Santa Claus myth and everything about him, because that's the interesting part here, is not that it's just Mel Gibson playing Santa Claus, but the way they pose the Santa Claus character in this movie is extremely interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree, because with what they were doing after that point, I was left assuming certain things. I was like, oh, wait, he's strong, but, you know, there's not like a mysticism about this, but then there's something else different here. I couldn't put my finger on it. And then when they got to the elves, and like I think there was a military soldier talking to one of the elves. I think it was
that's hilarious just to even put that in a sentence. It's a military soldier talking to an elf.
Yeah. And he was talking to him about his diet. And I was just like, wait. First off, where did they come from? And I was like, yo, this is a good opportunity to like go for it. But instead they kind of, I don't want to say they went for shock value, but they really kind of just was like,
yeah,
okay, we got this crazy psycho right here who's got a vendetta against, you know, Santa. And then you got this crazy child that doesn't have a father figure, that I don't know what happened with his mother, and he's got a sick grandma that he's technically using.
Look here, none of his reasons made sense. It didn't make sense.
Like I was kind of just like, you're a bad kid, like straight up. Like, I mean, and you're getting away with a lot. And I get it, because they're making him the focal like reason why. Okay, cool. That's a good shtick. Is that a good word? Is that a good, like, it's a gimmick for the
that's
movie?
The best way to put it. It's a good shtick, good gimmick to attempt to push the narrative of this story forward. But at the beginning of this movie, before he things happen and transpired and makes him want to kill Santa Claus. As I look, as he's walking down the steps, and you look at the tree as he's walking down the steps, how many gifts did you see under that tree, Sam?
Like maybe 6.
Yeah, good portion, right?
Maybe
good portion. Why would one gift affect him so much? Like, I need you to explain. So Santa only gives you one gift, so he don't give all of them. He just gives one gift, and that one gift pissed this. Again, it's not a spoiler to say that Santa gave the kid a lump of coal. It's literally in the trailer of this movie.
It is.
And he gets a lump of coal, and then it just didn't make sense. But again, that scene right there, that scene right there, didn't make sense for a kid with the deepest voice humanly possible for a child. And I know this because the kid is also on A Million Little Things, which is one of my favorite shows on television. So he always talks like that. He didn't do it just for this film, but it's just a lot of it. It felt overly silly to get to the point of the interestingness of Santa Claus. And that was this film's biggest flaw, is it at times it just comes across as too silly, amazingly, for every other character but Santa Claus.
Yeah. Yeah. Because even with his character, what I was thinking what was going to happen with the kid is I was thinking that he was going to be on this, like, all right, I need no father figure, and like, you know, I need you to do this. But Santa is like, he finds out that Santa exists because of the lump of coal. He thinks that somebody did that to him. He's tracking somebody down, like, who sent this to me? And then they happen to find out that Santa, you know, exists. Because I was like, this kid, it would be the opposite, in my opinion. I would feel like he would believe in Santa Claus. He wouldn't believe anything but what he knows
he does in this movie. We know he doesn't believe in anything. And the things he does in this movie.
But that's not the way the narrative goes. Instead, and we got to get to my man Walter. He gets my man Shane from the Shield to come and track Santa down by any means necessary. Now, to be fair, Walter Goggins in this, there was a good part of the movie that I did find him interesting, but they stuck with his character so long.
Yes, way too long.
I don't know. It was like a lag of time. It felt like I was like, why are we lingering with him this entire time when this could be moments where we could see a lot more backdrop of what's really going on? We never even saw a flashback of his backstory. It was just a lot of exposition.
Hey, look here. I can't take him seriously anymore in anything he does. And I am so many years removed from The Shield that I forgot he was in The Shield. It's been a while, and he's played silly character after silly character after silly character for me. So I can no longer take him seriously. So I didn't take anything he did in this movie seriously. When they did their little training montage, it was some of the worst gun training I've ever seen done. It made no sense. Like nothing made me think world-class assassin when he was doing the things he was doing. And I think that was the flaw with it. It dag nabbit. You could have cast someone else in this role and it would have been perfectly fine. But again, maybe the point of this movie is for everyone to be silly, and the one character you expected to be silly to be the straight man. That's what I got from this movie, is that it needed everyone else to be silly because the concept is silly. But the character that you think would be silly is not allowed to be silly. You have to take him seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that you're right. If maybe they would have casted somebody like John Bernthal and kind of put him in this and just kind of just like, I don't know. Like
I think it may have went too far for them. That could be it. Like if John's in this movie, we may have an issue with just the seriousness of this taking over the silliness of the concept. So I understand why they cast him. It's just that that training montage was so bad, it threw me off for the rest of the movie. I said, I don't believe he's an assassin at all.
It was really weird because when he went through the training montage, he said to the guy, and we're not spoiling it, but we're just giving you guys filler. He was kind of saying to the guy, like, run it again. Like, man, look, I gotta go. I gotta see my family for Christmas. He's like, oh, did I not compensate you? Run it again. I was like, what? Wait, hold on, bro. First off, when he ran through that, and we get to like the third act, Walter Goggins does some stuff in the third act that it's not just unbelievable. It's just unconceivable. It doesn't add up. The numbers don't mesh. If what's actually detailed at Santa's location is true, none of that makes sense at all.
None at all.
Because one big thing I was looking at it in, this is not a spoiler, but I was like, where's the sniper at? Why is there no sniper anywhere in the woods?
On something that is a military base. A military base. Dude, again, though, we're not supposed to take this movie seriously. This movie is a kid hires an assassin to kill Santa Claus. Like, and the weird part is this movie is such an in-between because everything we're describing makes this movie sound like a fun kids movie with a serious Mel Gibson, which could be done and done well. But one thing keeps it from being that. This is an extremely gory movie. An extremely gory movie. And it's like the moment the gore starts happening, you're like, oh my God, what was the point of this? Who is the target audience for this movie? Adults who want to see a child try to kill Santa Claus? Like, it could have been a beautiful kids movie done funnily. Mel could have still played a serious Santa Claus.
He could have.
Walter is perfect for that type of role, but they just upped the gore at certain points of this film that kids can't watch this. Under no circumstances can a kid watch this movie.
Yeah, it's
a scene at midway through the beginning part of the movie, involving Chance, who is the kid, Walter, and another little kid. That scene looked like it was taken directly out of like a made-for-TV special about a bad kid and him having to like learn his ways eventually. Like that scene is plucked from those type. This scene right here, it is plucked from the type of movie where it's silly, like Small Soldiers or one of those type of films. But then on other scenes, you're just like, oh, why is it so much blood here? Like this would have been a fun little movie for kids to see with their parents around the holidays and sends a good message about not being a bad boy or girl.
Yeah.
Instead, they'll never see this movie. So they won't know. Oh man.
No. And it's weird. So Lucas said that this is not a Quentin Tarantino-esque film, but the two directors are trying to take elements from the way that Quentin does direct certain scenes and shots. There's a snow scene that happens in the third act. I was like, I swear this is like straight up from a Quentin Tarantino.
I got you here, Sam, and this is why I changed my mind. Because after I saw the film, Sam asked me what did I think. I said, this is Quentin Tarantino meets Santa. I said that's what this movie is. But thinking about it for a minute, this feels like a Coen Brothers film. Like if I mix No Country for Old Men, elements of Fargo, and then added Santa, it would be Fatman.
Yeah, I can definitely, especially Fargo, for sure.
Yeah. The silliness of Fargo at times is in this movie, even though they take it to the nth degree in silliness. But like Mel's version of Santa Claus is a Coen Brothers character to the T. Like, so that's why it made me change it from Quentin to more of a Coen Brothers type of film. And not in a good way. I don't want anyone to believe when I say that. I'm saying it in a good way that this is a Coen Brothers film. Not in a good way. In a kid hired an assassin to kill Santa Claus type of way.
It's so weird though, because there were moments that I was kind of just like, am I entertained by this or am I enjoying it? Probably more so entertained. And then I think that there was concepts in this and ideas in this that made me think. I was like, wow, this is a really interesting concept. But ultimately, as a film, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of just left me really dry, especially the very last shot. The very last shot, I was like, fam, what are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? Because
I can't believe you waited for that last shot. It's the entire third act. The entire third act is like, oh,
look.
Wow, we're going there.
When your assassin got past the gates, at that point, I was like, okay, look, at this point, just give me some action. It doesn't even matter at this point.
Was it when the ski came out of nowhere at the military base? And you're like, wait a minute, it's a ski there. Like, I'm like, oh, you have got to be kidding me here.
Yeah, it was definitely the ski. But at that point, I was just kind of like, all right, well, show me what you got. And I was like, okay, well, man, this is where I really want to spoil some stuff because look at them elves though. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't say much more than that. But it's weird, again, to Lucas's point. If they would have tried to preserve this as a PG-13 kind of film, I think that Mel,
even PG, I would have went for PG with this film.
Because Mel really didn't have to do much.
Not at all.
Change anything that he did. Like, it was just certain things with the third act and language. And they could have used different alternative languages for
it was unnecessary. Any bad language is not necessary in this film. You could take all of it out and make this. You can make this War with Grandpa, but with Santa Claus. That is almost the perfect setup for this film. Could have been another version of War with Grandpa, but Grandpa is instead of Santa Claus.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because if they would have went that route, it would have actually meant a little bit more on the back end.
But if you want to scare your children, if you really want to scare them, especially the ones that know Santa Claus is real, wink, wink, what you do is sit them down and let them watch the last 5 minutes of this movie. You will traumatize your kid for the next 6 years if you let them watch everything that transpires with Santa Claus at the end of this movie.
Look, so the very last moment with my man Walter Goggins, I swear it was like in the house, and it was a Kill Bill moment. I was just like, whatever.
It's a lot of Kill Bill moments at the end of this movie.
It
so many. Dude, we can't talk about it. I need you all to go watch this movie and watch what happens to these characters at the end of this movie. And watch in horror, because even I was like, oh my God, no. Why would you do that? Like, I said that. Why would you do that? And just nothing. Just, well, Fatman. That's all I can say here.
So yeah, we've broken down. I had issues with the way that this was done. What did you think about the cinematography, though? As far as the cinematography and the tone, even though the tone was all over the place, what do you think about the cinematography?
I absolutely hated the tone of this film. The cinematography was average at best. Like it's nothing that sticks out. Amazingly, there were no shots in this movie that I saw that I didn't think anyone could do. And it kind of lends itself at times with this concept to give you some shots that will be amazing to have. And it just never does it. It's a very average run-of-the-mill type of thing done here with this film.
Yeah, there was a montage sequence where Walter Goggins is driving and he makes a stop, and then he just continues to make stops and stops and stops. And I was just like, I don't care enough to see this progression. And I don't care enough about the kid to see what he's doing during this time.
God, you don't care about anybody in this movie but Santa Claus.
Exactly. Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus were the things that I was most interested in. I was interested to see where they were going to go with the military side of stuff, but anyway, what do we give this this movie?
4.5 out of 10.
Wait, you said 4.5?
4.5 out of 10. I'm not being nice to this movie. Will I watch it again? Of course I will. Of course I'll watch this again. Is this good? Of course it's not good. Not at all. But if you are looking for something that makes absolutely no sense, that you can partially play as background noise and at the same time be traumatized, Fatman is perfect. When you watch what goes on with Santa Claus, you will be traumatized. Trust me, you will be. But again, it's just a run of the mill, below average to bad action film.
Yeah.
And Mel Gibson's in it. Mel Gibson. This is his second movie this year behind Force of Nature, which I think I also gave a 4.5, but it's Mel Gibson. So, I mean, I'm not going to complain. 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah. It was during this scene specifically, I was kind of like, you know what? They could really go for something really here. They should really just go for it. At the point that, you know, he had this conversation with his team and with the military, I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. And they really just kind of pull their punches. They don't go for it. They try to go to the shtick. And unfortunately, that loses everything ultimately in any kind of heart level that could have went somewhere. Because there's another scene with Mel Gibson that happens where his wife drops something off to him while he's hitting a bag. And he starts kind of going through the portfolio and understanding. I was like, those are moments that could really impact. And those are moments that could really matter. And I'll remember those moments. They're fleeting. I will watch this movie again later. I'll probably do this at like a 6 or 5.5 out of 10 for me. Yeah, that's all I really kind of have.
No, this just got added to my Christmas rotation.
What?
This
Are you
can get
serious?
dead serious. This, A Christmas Story, Die Hard, which is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Like, this is getting into my Christmas playlist, 100% so.
But it wasn't even. It's not really a Christmas movie. Like, there was one Christmas tree.
It has Santa. It has Santa Claus in it. That's all it takes. How many Christmas trees are in Die Hard, Sam? How many?
It don't need to be a huge one. That's all huge when you see
One Christmas tree is in Die Hard, and Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. So yes, I'm going to watch Fatman more than once, and it's forever ingrained into my Christmas playlist. It's Fatman.
I just wish I would have seen him go down the chimney, man. Like, that just would have wished.
In the suit. I'd have done well with him being in the suit at any point in time in this movie. If you'd have gave me Mel Gibson in the suit, this could possibly be the greatest Christmas movie of all time if you had put Mel Gibson in the suit. But you didn't do it. No, you didn't do it. Instead, a kid hires an assassin to kill Santa Claus.
But you might get some reindeer, you guys. That's all I'm gonna say. So we're gonna go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully you guys didn't get put off by it. Definitely go and check out the movie for yourself. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. It's all about you guys' opinion. We're just giving you ours. And definitely you can go down to the description bar below. Check out Lucas on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter as well. And we'll talk more movies later. And we're gonna be back for Mandalorian on Sunday, possibly. So
Baby Yoda.
You guys take care. Peace.